and I could have grabbed one cheap
Yeah, he's
2 weeks
coming up.
ago. Yes, awesome. I want to hear from my fellow Aussie because I have so many mixed feelings about the goblins because
I
DJ
do.
told me about them over a week ago, and I could have grabbed one cheap, but I didn't because I just like I have too many valuable items. I don't want to risk it. Free mints scare me. Guy, what's your
Right.
take?
She's a burner wallet, man.
Yeah,
True.
um, it's a little bit all over the shop, isn't it? I've been following the Goblin Girls. I think I meant to try to free mint them like 9 days ago, but someone used the genie bot and they just max mint like 250 a mint and it minted out in seconds. So
Oh wow.
that kind of sucked. So I ended up having a gas war and paid 0.09, and then the floor just tanked to like 0.001. And then I think they're just riding the coattails now of the Goblin Town, and it's like zero point 0.7. So I've sold
Y-
one. I've got
Nice.
about five more. But yeah, it's all risk. It really is.
Nice. Like the one you're holding, the you know, what are you calling the main goblins? I guess just the goblin. Um, are you gonna do? I don't know. Do you see it long term? I get the sense that this is a breath of fresh air for people in this sort of down market. They're like, "Ooh, something to get excited about. Something's going up," but it's just a temporary thing. That's my take.
Yeah, like I don't know. My strategy's always the same. Just I ride it like the stock, buy low, hold on to it, and let E fill the bags up. But I always buy like three or four, and I've already made back my investment on this one. I've sold a couple, so it's like a risk-free trade now. So I'll just hang on, see what happens.
House house money, you're free
House.
rolling.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
it. You mentioned the genie bot before. Is that just some sort of like automatically executing contract thing, or I mean, you're the expert here. What kind of bots and tactics are we up against in the ETH wars?
Oh, look, it's complicated and it's really hard. Like I'm no solidified dev or anything. I'm just a construction background, but like to we're surrounded by so many educated people, and yeah, it's really hard. There's so many of these bots now. Like that genie bot one is just I don't use it, but a lot of people use it to make offers and sweep floors. Um, it's really hard to because we also do a lot of back end forensics, like for in the NFT approved, and it's hard to track if the project's manipulating floors or it's actually whales using the genie bot. Yeah, it gets a bit technical.
Yeah,
Why
like
are they just using like burner wallets to run the bot? Is that why you can't identify who's doing it, or
Yeah,
what?
so
What?
a lot of them
Okay.
do obviously like Tornado Cash. They wash the money and use burner wallets, and yeah, you just can't link them back.
Interesting. And so if it is, a contingent or a group of whales, maybe using bots and wash sales and the like, pumping volume. I mean, do you think it's fresh liquidity coming into the goblins, or do you think it's, ETH that was already tied up on other NFTs that people are just liquidating and shifting across?
Look, it's a bit of both. I've seen a few wallets that are buying, selling back to themselves, and a little bit of floor manipulation. But the last 3 days, it's just been a lot of FOMO. Like when the Americans wake up, they see the floors jumped about an ETH, and then that'll see the price fluctuation. It'll just keep pushing it. It'll keep moving, and as they go to bed or during the day, it'll slowly come back down, and then the FOMO kicks back in again. That's been happening like for the last 3 days. It's just not stopping. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, Americans keep messing it up for everybody.
Well, yeah. I mean, I keep expecting it. Yeah, the FOMO to stop, the hype to stop, and it just to settle. But I guess until something better comes along. I mean, as you're not always the chatty type guy. Maybe if I could ask, so you do work sort of in blockchain security and that sort of thing, is that right?
Yeah. So we've got some pretty big news. We partnered up. Well, I'm trying to. There's a lot of back and forth emails with a company we do utilize for the back end forensics, and I'm just trying to organise a partnership deal. So what they do at the moment is they flag accounts for us and give it a risk rating on the blockchain. So, like if they've had flagged accounts with Tornado Cash or wallet washers or something, they'll give it a risk rating, which is great. It's good for the blockchain, but we go in a bit more depth and we use all our data. So we have a heap of like the public send us wallets of known scammers, phishing scammers, DM scammers, rug pull projects, and we just put all that information into their software. So we're just trying to improve it. And if we can partner with them, it's going to be great because they're going to use our NFT project ratings as well. Like when we do a full review on a project, they're going to incorporate that into the blockchain for the actual project, the NFT project. So, yeah, that'll be huge.
That sounds amazing, man. And so, is there, do you sort of service individual like clients, or is it this more for like organizational thing? Like for example, if it's happened a lot recently, you would have heard of all of them. But just say one of my NFTs was taken or something dodgy happened. Could I engage your company to help or look, or is that something you do?
Yeah, we forward it on. Like we've got a team that'll look into it, but it takes a lot of work and there's a lot of one-on-one time with the client. Like they have to know what their last 30 steps were. So um, obviously there's a quick process which just comes with education. Like revoke cache, disconnect your Wi-Fi, try and reverse start up the procedure so you can stop whatever hack's happening. Um, but yeah, I mean, the best way to combat it is education, and I guess that's how I started. But to recover any sort of NFTs and money, it's so hard, and you end up. I guess it's like a rabbit hole. You go looking, and you're going to find people you shouldn't really want to find, like bad actors. Like there's white hats, red hats, black hats. There's all sorts of people. So yeah, it's not a nice, not a nice area we're in.
Yeah, it's the Wild West, hey. And I think you're right. Knowledge is the power. You was talking before about sort of compiling known vulnerabilities, DM scams, like bad wallets, that sort of thing. Is there a resource that you recommend, or something even your group provides, like a website where people can like have a look or cross check things?
So we had a Discord. We still do, but um, we got like 18 staff, and it's a lot of money. Like the money's coming out of my pocket, so we had to shut down Discord. I've kept the ladies' chat open, just because it's really beneficial for them. They have a nice, safe community. I don't go in there. They have their own moderators. They educate themselves. It's like a massive alpha group. So we've kept that going. We've also got our own sort of alpha group. There's only like 60 members, but Discord was a great idea. But it's just because we're not an NFT project, there's no sort of funding, so it's just hard to keep paying moderators and keeping everybody active. So we shut it down. But yeah, I don't really know. I mean, this is the best place, the community that we're in now. Like I even just sit in chat and listen. I love listening. This is where we get our education from, I think.
I love it. Like I often see you in the audience. I mean, especially when you're wearing the Rambo, it's hard to miss you. But yeah, you do a great job of listening in. I do a great job of talking too much. But man, in terms of money coming in, I'm sure myself, I would definitely, engage your services for like protection tips, or, like a monthly subscription to get like a newsletter saying, hey, watch out for these things, or, that there'd be a million ways you can monetize all that excellent information you have.
Has any major projects reached out to you guys to do some like counter attack prevention, like within just their project? Because I
Yeah, so
mean, just alone in ours, I think we could have used that kind of help.
we do we do multiple different things like not sure if you're aware of NFT money on Instagram.
No,
No?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So like they were behind like 90% of these scam rug pull projects, not purposefully, but they were just promoting them. Like they'll taking money and just promoting them without it doing any due diligence at all. And so we approached them. So they send us 100% of their projects to be vetted by us behind the scenes before they promote them now, um, which is good. Their business has died because of it, but they don't any longer promote any scam or rug pull projects, which is good. But now it's pushed a lot of the scams and the rug pulls into the discords because they're not so much in the projects now. Like that's where a lot of their revenue was coming from.
And there's
Um,
plenty of paid advertising agencies out there that are willing to,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. There's heaps of them. But yeah, we do have individual projects come to us. We just give them a Discord security triage, just on the basics, on the how to set up a Discord. Like there's do's and don'ts. Like 2FA is great, but like there's a whole chain of command like that you need to set up and sequencing and most importantly have a protocol in place if you are breached. Like you need to shut it down. So there's no good running around like a chook with its head cut off. You need to sort of shut it down straight away. So these are the important things we do. Try and show these projects that reach out to us.
Nice. Yeah, you need that sort of kill switch, don't you? And so, I have a lot of projects approach me for tips, even though I know nothing. Like normally, I just point them in the direction of people who do know what they're talking about. If there was a relatively large project who had a budget for that kind of security check, you know, um, uh, like would you be okay with me pointing them towards your Twitter, or is there a website, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. Like we've got the website set up now, so we just we take submissions through there or just on our Twitter account. We have someone that manages that. We can just organise that through there. We've got like a NFT headquarters. You get put into a guest lounge as a project, and then you get assigned somebody to come and look after your project. So you get a researcher, you'll get one of our lawyers, you'll get one of our investigators who like does the back end research on the project. So they will sit them down in like an interview, like a one-on-one interview, and then we do a bit of a background check on the actual founder just to make sure there's no previous business history. Like, you know, NFTs, you got to treat them like a business. So, like, not all businesses are successful, so some fail. It's not necessarily a rug. So, if you can go back through the business history of somebody and see what their history was like, failed projects, successful ones, it paints up a clear picture for you. So, yeah, send them
That,
our way. We
that
can sort them
that's
out.
awesome. I realized as just after I asked that question and checked your bio there, that the NFT approved.io and the Twitter account, which I'm now following, that must be a recent addition, because I'm sure when you were helping that Canadian bloke the other week in a space, I was like, I've got to find out more about this guy, Madden guy. Like, you know, like where is he working? He knows his stuff.
Oh, you're
As I
talking
was
about when he came up and told that guy he got hacked a year ago?
yeah, the spearfish thing from March
Yeah,
last year, it blew my
that was
mind,
some like
guy.
ninja
Yeah.
work right there, guy.
Yeah, like I was immediately a fan of yours. And I was like, I need to, yeah. So I don't know if that was that website's new or a new edition, but I'm glad I've got somewhere to point people to now. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
so
do
that's
have
that
a question.
company. Yeah, you're right. Go.
Yeah, just from in your opinion, like at least from my perspective, I don't think you can see any real significant change or reduction in some scams that are happening and hacks without a marketplace, whether it's OpenSea or um, any other marketplace takes it upon their own to come up with a solution.
Well, that's why we're all here. It's a bunch of creatives, innovatives. We're all here because of how early it is. So, as good as we have good times, as bad times, as many good people as there is, there's bad. It's just yin yang. So, there's ways to fix things. There's KYC for OpenSea. They can before they submit a project, they can do a proper verification of the project and the founders. That blue tick that they have on the founders isn't much. Anybody can sort of do that. The project blue tick's a little bit more sophisticated, but yeah, there's a prop. They can do KYC for that. That'll stop a lot of scammers. But then they'll just push them to Solana, or they'll build their own web. They'll build another platform themselves. Like the scammers are well funded, well educated.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're clever, aren't they? Um, uh,
Yeah.
sorry, so can I ask just a couple of like quick, like
Yeah. No, I'm just like
rapid
agreeing.
questions?
Yeah, it's just so much to kind of wrap your head around all the time,
Yeah.
4/7. So it's really good to hear some alpha and just kind of see where you're at with everything, guys. So thank you for sharing this morning. So yeah, go ahead, Oz.
Yeah, I mean, just some basic ones. Like Stem the other day was saying, how she does everything on her iPhone because she feels like that's the least vulnerable of all her devices. But then, you got Fiddy who prefers to do it on his laptop. Like in terms of just connecting an Ethereum wallet and transacting. What are your thoughts on device or in terms of safety?
Um, Look, I think everybody's comfort zone is a little bit different. I think when you sort of get up around the $100,000 NFT range, um, your your stance would be different than somebody with just a few JPEGs. So I know people that have actual cold storage computers, not just ledgers. They don't connect that to Wi-Fi at all. Um, Look, there's so many different ways. Like I'm happy with my Safe Power ledger. Um, Really tricky to set up. I think I need to make a video or get that. Is it Califia? What's his name? Yeah,
Yeah,
It's Khalifa.
Calafia. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's really good with that. But it's actually I'm not sure if you guys have got the Safe Power, but they're really good. A little bit technical to set up, but yeah.
so,
I
so
like Sten's idea, but I do have that option as well with the two phones. Just have one without the MetaMask, and it's strictly either work related and your social media. Just have the separation. That way, if you are to accidentally tap a link or something, you're not going to get your MetaMask wallet or anything drained.
nice.
It's smart.
Right.
So I mean, I have MetaMask on my iPhone, the extension of my MacBook, but I am very cautious. I also have a Ledger Nano X, which I just put important things onto, and I don't connect that to any sites. It's just a receiving wallet, really. Um, Is that like a pretty good setup for someone who isn't like a mega whale, or as long as there's some form of cold storage, right?
Yeah, that's it. So, look, always, I know people that have like 5 wallets and they break them up into different orders, like cold, semi-cold, lukewarm, hot. But look, just I just make sure always mint from a separate wallet, and then send it to your main wallet, and then you can either put that in your cold storage, and that's it. Um, the scams and everything are getting more sophisticated, so the phishing happens over time. So like at least if you've got those firewalls up, like in a ledger, they can't get to that, but they'll find another way to get in. And yeah, I think somebody from the AAH, speaking to them a couple of months ago, they said they got phished over a 3 year
Uh,
Wow.
was that done
Who
from
was
something
that?
that was like airdropped to them? Because, airdropping, like people are saying, oh, I just opened my wallet and I was
The
airdropped this thing,
the
So,
dusting attacks.
yeah.
it was somebody he knew. He'd been speaking to him for like 3 years, and then
Wow.
yeah, decided to do them over. Like these people will drag it out for a long time just to get you. But it's the email, so you need to be careful logging into Discords as well. So too much information, mobiles, subscription emails, sign up to this for your email. They're no good. Like they're data storing, like on a Web 2.0 point of, and then merging it to 3.0. It's dangerous. So yeah, I wouldn't be given too much information at all.
Right. So maybe like the ultimate setup is, a clean phone that you only have your MetaMask on or whatever. Maybe you have an email account set up purely for, NFT like OpenSea or Etherscan notifications and nothing else. You're not emailing out. It's just a notification service, perhaps, and that with a cold storage wallet, maybe the way to go. So the bloke you helped the other week with the spearfish thing from last year, or even that 3 year one that you're talking about, are those things that would have shown up in revoked.cash, or is it possible that a wallet can be compromised and you wouldn't even know it from looking at the contracts?
Um, yeah, so the only way I could see that was from a flagged wallet we put in the database system that we use. Um, and so I could see his interactions with that account from way back when. It's just an account that's pinged so many times. It was a Uniswap router that he used. So we still need more information, more investigation. So that's why if we partnership up with this company, we can get access to their data and they can use our data. So it's just a win-win for the whole NFT space. But it's a bit of a dead end for old mate. I tried to help, but we could just see where the attack came from, but can't really do any more because we're still gathering data ourselves.
Of course. I mean, if there's anything we can do to help with that, the partnership, like, I hope you do get to, share the data with that other mob. I guess I'm just thinking, it's entirely possible from my early days in NFTs a year or two ago that I could have just as easily interacted with some crazy spearfish type, wallet or contract and be none the wiser. Um, uh, is it maybe even advisable to every 6 or 12 months just change wallet, like just out of abundance of caution?
Good question. Oh,
I
that's good.
pressed I pressed the wrong emoji. I laughed. Sorry,
No, you're
but
right.
that's a
It's o-
great idea.
it's
Yeah,
okay. He doesn't
It
mind. You can
is.
laugh at him.
yeah.
Yeah. So, because I might do that because I
That's
mean,
a
I've
good
got
idea.
I've got
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 wallet addresses that I use, and some I would consider like hotter than others. But maybe, you know, a day when gas is nice and low, I just do a complete wipe and refresh.
Yeah, look, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, we're pretty active in the space all the time, all of us. So we're always, you've got the nest here. Like you just don't know. Like you could be compromised whenever. I try and use different tools. Like there's a couple of different fish links. Like we do a lot of Zoom calls with projects, and they want to send me their link to join the Zoom calls. So now I do it myself, and they join mine. But you just can never be too careful. So there's programs you can copy paste the link. You've probably seen them, and then add them into the Google search bar, and it'll give you the history on that link if it's high risk. If they're using a VPN as well, because I like to link the number up from what country they're dialing in from to actually where the router's being spat out from. Can tell you a lot of stuff. But yeah, like you said, would you say maybe every 6 months or so,
Yeah,
change
six
it
or
up?
12 months. Yeah.
Can't hurt, eh? I mean,
Yeah.
we're always evolving.
It's so true. I mean, I often say, and I probably should do this as much as I talk about doing it, which is just practicing restoring your wallet, making sure you've got the seed phrase, making sure you're comfortable with the procedure or whatever, steps might need to be taken. Because I think a lot of people set up things and go, yeah, I've got it written down, it's all good. And then a year goes by and it's like, where do I go? How do I go about restoring this? But I guess I could even incorporate that into a every 6 months time for a new wallet address, just move everything across. I mean, um, uh, $50 to $100 worth of gas in transfer fees is definitely worth. That's a cheap insurance policy if you ask me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what that SafePal even has, like you can put up a semi firewall. You can import your wallet into SafePal from MetaMask and just use everything in there. It's not the same. Like you need to individually transfer them to your hardware wallet, but you can still import a software wallet, and that's just another added layer of protection. There's so many things we can do, but yeah, a factory reset every 6 months isn't a bad idea either.
Yeah. I remember I used to do that with my Windows computers back when I was like a gamer. I'd just, do the old format, clear out the junk, and just to get it to perform a bit better. It's not really something I do all that often these days because, you know, computers and phones tend to run pretty cleanly unless you bloat them up. But yeah, it's maybe a good idea. I think our lives are just too intertwined with computers and phones now that, if you do get a new phone or lose a phone for whatever reason, the hassle of getting all your VPN authenticator keys and, like credentials or all that sort of stuff set up, it's kind of like too much of a hassle for people to go through unnecessarily, like without being forced to. But maybe it's something we should all practice. Like, it's just been a crazy few weeks. Like, it's not unusual to hear for someone accidentally click on a link and lose a few things, but for so many big profile ones to have been done in all manner of different ways just makes me even more security conscious if I wasn't already maxed out on it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if it's the community we hang around or what, but it is such a small world. But the last couple of weeks, it's been like a firecracker. It's just one after another. Um, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, kind of surprises me because it's sort of the thing I'd expect during like a bull run, like when euphoria and hype is at its max. Like we have all these newcomers coming in and not sure what to do, and of course they fall into the traps. But it surprises me because I wouldn't have thought we're getting that many newcomers, and really the stories we've been hearing are from relative veterans. I know like 6 or 12 months isn't necessarily a long time, but I guess in the NFT space is around long enough to know the precautions and steps you need to take. But yeah, I, hopefully we'll get to a point where things are safe. Oh, I guess my only other question was around like the tools and resources. I assume you avoid LooksRare, just stick to OpenSea. Like, are you a fan of icy tools, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so in our alpha lands, I run the icy tools. There's two bots we use, so just the sweeper and the the mint bot. So we do use them. I do interact with it. I've connected my wallet up to it just because I need the premium feature for everyone. Yeah, no issues with that. What else did you
I've done
say?
the same. I've done the same. I'm even tempted to buy one of their founders NFTs so I can get premium for life, but they're a bit pricier now than they were when I was looking at them last. I think they're 0.4 now or something, but I still plan on getting one because I paid for premium for a month, just like manually paid for it, and I quite enjoyed it. It was quite useful. It was quite handy, although it did get me to FOMO into a few projects that were minting like crazy unnecessarily. But learned my lesson. Don't just go for what's hot in the moment. Maybe that's why I didn't jump on the goblin train.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. It tells you what's in your wallet and gives you
Your
your
flips,
price.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it gives you like in ETH value or USD value your portfolio based on floor price. Shows unrealized flips and realized flips. I also love all the little icons it gives to like mega whales or like the flippers or what's the other one, like the Picasso emoji for like people, the art lovers. I tried to find like a key or a legend to see what all of the ones that you could earn are and what you have to achieve to earn that. But it is funny seeing that like this wallet is a expert flipper or this wallet is a NFT whale, um, and just being able to see like during that month. I mean, I couldn't help but have a look at like Fiddy's portfolio or Stems or some of the bigger ones, and you just see the flips that they did well, maybe the ones that didn't go so well. Like it's just really interesting. Um, I also had the iPhone app, which is just a notification plugin, but it was really handy because I just added a couple of wallet addresses, including my own, and so I would get notified via the app if something sold or if it was really reassuring if I was minting something. I get the notification on my phone. Your wallet has minted this item, or sometimes I'd wake up and it'd be like, Fiddy.eth has bought 6 apocalyptic queens. I'm like, all right, he's been sweeping. There's interesting little data points like that I think is worth the premium.
yeah, it's good. No, I was doing that as well. It's good to see what people are buying. Um, what the market's doing, what your wallet's worth. Well, I know it's only floor, but yeah, it's cool. It's good to see what whales are buying what too.
Yeah, and I always found it reassuring knowing that you're quite secure, but I can see that you're obviously using Twitter Blue and the Flexagon. So, in your opinion, it's safe enough. Like, do you have Twitter authorized on your ledger, or these items you have in a hot wallet?
Can't say too much.
Sorry. Yep,
I,
yep, yep. My
I
bad.
don't I
That's fair.
don't trust a lot, to be honest. Um, Look, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's all software. Like somebody could be breaching something. A
There's
lot of
always
our,
gaps in software that you just don't know.
that's
Somebody
it.
can backdoor in, yeah.
Zero
Like
day exploits.
our guys say don't use it, but yeah, they don't do anything. Like they like to remain anon too. I've put my face out there, but yeah, it's just the way it is. It's just your risk tolerance, what you're willing to sort of risk, really.
For sure. I'll stop hammering you with questions. I just have to say thank you, Guy. I mean, I love the few times I've heard you speak in spaces, and I love that you're part of this community because you are so switched on with the security aspect. And I guarantee you, if this if we were having this conversation in a couple of hours time when everyone was awake and there was like 50 people in this room, everyone would have a question for you, you know, like
Yeah.
you could host ticketed spaces and people would pay just to come in and be like hearing all these tips and the opportunity to ask you a few questions. So yeah, I really appreciate it, man, and so glad you're an ape, that's for sure.
Thanks heaps, guys. Too easy. Thanks.
You're the true
For
Rambo, my
sure.
friend.
Thanks, guy. I
Always
think it's all the goblins' fault that so many people are getting scammed right now.
blame it on the goblin.
It,
There you go.
it's kind
Yeah.
of true. It's kind of true. Like one of
Yeah,
the
anytime there's a hype project, there's going to be scammers out
Yeah.
scamming people.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, because emotions run high and people make like quick decisions without thinking it through. Like the few I've heard of recently were either goblin related or like ape coin related type phishing links or DMs, and I guess that's the downfall of people, right? Is the greed aspect. Like ooh, like free this or opportunity to get that, and I think that's maybe why I avoided the goblins. I was like, oh, I don't know, it just seems
Me
so
too.
sketchy.
I mean, yeah, we were just talking about watch out for free drops and free things, and then all of a sudden here comes this big free, opportunity, and it ends up being legitimate, and like you slept on it just because you don't want to risk the other assets you have in your wallet. So it's sort of you got to have like all these different wallets and these different pieces of hardware. And, if you're really going to get into it like that, just to be extra safe, a burner phone, a burner computer, a burner wallet, I mean,
Yeah,
just you got to be really set up to go for something like that. And so,
I'm,
yeah, I
I'm just
definitely
gonna.
slept on it too.
Me,
But
me too. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a quick second and throw
yeah,
out a crazy conspiracy theory. Imagine if, like, it was a whole group or contingent of hackers and fraudsters who were like, "All right, people are getting wise to all our tricks and that sort of thing. We need to put them their minds at ease when it comes to free mints and restore faith that those can moon. So let's create a collection called Goblins. We'll pump it up with all our ill-gotten gains and ETH, and that'll set us up for another year or two of scamming those people. You know what I mean? Like, it makes you question, oh, maybe I will go for that free mint since the goblins did so well.
right. And the other thing that sort of put me off from not like getting involved with it was like all the screaming noises or whatever they were doing, the goblin
Yes.
talk. Like I was just like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. It's sort of like
That was my
if that's the
introduction
if
too.
that's the community and they're like they had like the whole entire space, like they all had to speak this goblin talk, and then somebody was connecting when you listen to the space when that you're from last night that you're talking about Oz, that you're only a few hours into. They were talking about how somebody had said that in the roadmap from the Bored Apes there's something about goblins, and that then they connected it from there back to Yuga Labs because there's something to do with Yuga Labs. But just going into a space and listening to predominantly mostly men making like, funny noises
Yeah, like
was just
grumbling
like,
noise.
I'm just like, I'm not sure if this is really an investment opportunity here versus just
Yes.
like, a bunch of people who just want to buy something or, have something for free and, make a bunch of noise, quote unquote, and then just get rid of it. You know what I mean? It's sort of
Yeah.
seemed like a pump and dump kind of.
It
So,
still does. It just feels like a
yes.
really elaborate and big one. It still feels
Yeah,
like a
it's
pump and
just
dump.
like yeah, but it's like, yeah, the whole goblin thing and screaming and making noises. I mean, it's fun and everything, and it's like a
Yeah.
playground, but I don't want to do it for 8 hours.
Nah. Well, that was my
I was kind of
introduction.
hesitant,
It, yeah,
hesitant
like
when somebody comes into your space just to say this is going to be the next thing, and then immediately exits, and then comes back two
Yeah,
days later and says, "I told you guys, now's the time, go do it," and then
right.
leaves the space.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah, he dropped another piece of alpha yesterday too. So in that same space, I don't know if you were in there, JP. He dropped another. Um, I forget his name. He dropped. Well,
Real
I wrote
nice
it.
guy.
Real nice guy. Yeah, he dropped another piece of alpha. But yeah, I hear what you're saying about that. It's sort of like, oh, now you have to like, totally flush out and vet that person, that came in and like said that to make sure that they're legitimate. So like, how do you know, right? So it's like that's where like your star based community, quote unquote, Ozzy, uh, is good to know because you have people that you're around, but then again can you vet everybody in your group, because they'll sit and wait for months and years even. So I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, he's a
exactly.
reputable guy, and
Oh,
50 apparently knows him. But
right.
what I'm thinking in my head, and why I keep saying it's a social experiment, if you gather enough people that have enough pull with a bunch of communities, you can have them, for example, go into space, drop the alpha, and I guarantee you, if we would have been in all the spaces, or if you're able to be in all the spaces at the same time, you're probably going to hear the same things. You
Yeah,
drop
and
enough alpha, you get 1% of each space to go in and ape in. I mean, that's a significant amount of movement.
Right. All at the same
and
time. And I wasn't
people
disparaging
people are,
real nice
oh,
guy.
sorry, stop.
Just for the
Oh,
record, I wasn't like being sketch about real nice guy because I know that they're like he's friends with Biddy and stuff like that. But
of
I'm just saying
course.
you just never know. That's all.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just
yeah, that
using
and that,
him as an example.
I mean, like just because someone has a good reputation or solid, I mean that I don't know if it's good enough. I think until a couple of months ago, Do Kwon had a pretty good reputation, and like whales with a lot of money had a lot of faith in what was happening with Luna, um, and I guess you just never know. Like even people with good reputations and good intentions can go down the wrong path.
Don't you
So.
think Luna was a coordinated attack though?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it closely enough, but I do have friends that put a lot of money into it. I only found out after it crashed that they would admitted to me how much they'd lost, and I thought of these as really smart investors, people that if they gave me a tip that I would probably listen or follow because they normally make all the right moves, and for them
Well, I
to have
mean,
been done in by it.
Elon did the same thing with Doge. He does that occasionally with other
True. But like
meme coins. But
it never felt serious with Elon though. Like even though they're gonna accept Dogecoin for Tesla merch, it like I get the sense that he was just sitting in his mansion being like, the Doge chart's pretty flat right now. Maybe I'll just tweet something about a Shiba Inu and see what happens. Like he's his own entertainment.
Just
yeah,
for the
but you have a responsibility to understand that the impact that you have um, when you make those comments.
yeah. Well, there's definitely impact when you have like a bazillion followers. But just for the record, he's couch surfs, so he doesn't have a mansion. But
Yeah, that's right. He's like homeless. I remember him saying that in the
yeah,
interview.
yeah, he might
But
have like a container house now. He might have upgraded a little bit, but yeah, he doesn't live like that. But well, yeah, I mean, you're right, JP. I mean, with much influence, there's much responsibility. Truth on that. But I mean, how much do you live in that kind of? How much can you live 24/7 in that bubble? I mean, I'm a retired teacher and I still act like a teacher. Like, Oz, no, like we got to put these in order. You know what I mean? Just so it just makes sense. I mean, it just sort of, you know what I mean? It's
oh, for
hard to like
sure.
step away like from
Old
who
habits
you
die
have
hard.
been. Yeah.
Yeah. And sorry, Guy. I know we're quite chatty. Were you about to say something there? Maybe on the Luna thing. I
Oh,
noticed you
right.
were.
Luna. Yeah, that was a very fascinating situation for sure.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that the whole social engineering thing, like, a lot of people, they you only need to tell 70% truths to have a 30% lie. Like, you got to be careful. Like, we're in this Web3. We're all got these JPEGs as pictures, but in real life, you've got to look at like what makes a friendship. Like, you need respect, honesty, trust, loyalty. How do you get that in a space like this? It's got to be built over time. So yeah, this whole social engineering comes from, I guess, you just got to be careful. Like, you got to watch. I guess a lot of people come into these projects like whales. They make friends quick because they buy up the floor. You just got to be careful. You know what I mean? Like, same as Elon, he's got a lot of people. You've only got to do like 70% good stuff, and then the 30% you don't is where you try and get the people that you're trying to social engineer.